All right then. In the movie Morbius, they never actually said the phrase "It's Morbin time." They definitely did not say the phrase "It's F2 time" in that movie either. But we are gonna say it. It's F2 time, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome. It is round one of a brand new era. Round one of the GP4 OC 2021 Formula 2 this time season. Hello there, I'm your lead commentator Robert Ionescu, and I'm joined today by somebody whom I have commentated with in the past, just not very often. You may know him as Miran Evtri. Hello there, Miran.
Hi, Rob. That was a great introduction.
Really?
To the stream, yeah.
That's good. I had it in
Oh,
my mind
well,
for weeks.
well, it's great to join you in the commentary booth here for a brand new era of Formula 2 for the first ever qualifying around the Baku City circuit. I think it's going to be a great time.
Yeah, absolutely. We've come here after preseason testing at brand new venues at Oschersleben and Imola. And not Oschersleben, I'm sorry, at Lausitzring and Imola. I get confused sometimes with German tracks because I'm not the best at German, but nevertheless, those are pretty cool days of testing. Day one was stopped by Dennis Graf, and day two was stopped by. I actually forgot who topped day two, but nevertheless, we are
Sinonome,
here.
I
We've
think it
taken the.
was.
Oh yeah, it was Hento Sonome, right? You're right. Either way, we're here in Baku in Azerbaijan for what is round one of the season. A little bit of a late start to the season. F2 is going to be the last series, sorry, not the year, to get underway. But we're finally here. It's time to get underway. And let's take a look at the weather for today's session. Are you excited?
Yes, it's going to be quite interesting. And yeah, clear skies ahead of us here
Azerbaijan
in
isn't known
Azerbaijan.
as a land of fire for no reason. It's going to be bone dry. And we presume there will be some high temperatures. Now tell me, what do you think of this circuit in general?
I mean, it's one of the few street circuits, if not the only one on the Formula 2 calendar this season. Obviously, we haven't had the full calendar confirmed yet, but it is a very interesting circuit, obviously built around the streets of Baku. It's got a lot of challenging corners, a lot of hard braking zones, especially into turns 1, 2, 3, and 4, basically 90-degree corners, but you can still carry good balance between them. And there's a lot of tricky corners paired with the elevation of the circuit, especially the most notable, the castle section of turns 8 through 10 is notoriously tricky, and we'll see a lot of drivers making mistakes there, I think. But
And it can get
it
especially
is.
narrow. However, we haven't had a lot of problem there.
No, I guess not, but it is very technical, especially Sector 3, and then it's obviously got one of the longest straights on the Formula 2 calendar, so I think we're going to have a lot of overtakes in the slipstream as well when the race happens. I believe it is tomorrow, but
Yeah,
I
indeed.
think,
But I
yeah,
believe that the flat-out chicanes in for the Formula One calendar might not be so flat out on the ramp to the back straight, the front straight. But nevertheless, it should be a very entertaining affair. We've seen you can race here. And speaking of racing here, last season was quite fun. If I'm not mistaken, it was Aaron Curtis who took pole here in Baku, the reigning champion for this season. And he was leading, but he got jumped to the pits by Jesus Pernian. And after he jumped him, as they pit on the same lap, Pernian took the lead and never looked back. He took his first, and if I'm not mistaken, only win in GP2, and he won't be taking any more of those again. Not just because GP2 has been rebranded, but because he's moved to the top class. He can't head back here. Either way, the session is underway, and the first driver to go out will be Fangchana China.
yes, indeed. It's going to be, I think, a very exciting 30 minutes that are ahead of us. First time we get to see these cars in a proper qualifying session.
Indeed, so don't forget,
I think
the calendar
it's
for
be
this
quite
season
nice.
has been increased from 13 to 14 races. Hungary is gone, but Malaysia is back. We're also gonna get free voted tracks, of course, the one voted by the GP2, the former GP2 now the F2 drivers. However, there's been a few changes. First up, the vote has been secret, completely secret, so that we can't get somebody spoiling the result for us in the commentary booth. But nevertheless, apart from that, we also got the addition of a brand new wildcard race for the first time ever. An idea brought up by yours truly. And the wildcard race will be decided solely and entirely by Flo. Without a vote, it'll be just his opinion, and I really hope he picks a good one.
Yeah, he's got he's gonna have a heavy burden on him if the race doesn't turn out good. But it is an interesting concept for sure.
Flo, I just pray to God you don't pick Manicure. That is all I'm begging you.
Oh.
Nevertheless, it is time for China. It is almost time for him to begin his lap. This circuit is quite tricky. Sector 1, 90-degree corners everywhere, but each one has a different feel to them. They all require different circumstances. Here we go with the lap. First up, it's turn 1, the most notorious braking zone here. Very hard. Make sure you don't go into there with cold brakes, because otherwise you're going to go so wide, which China doesn't do, thankfully. And towards turn 2, you're going to want to brake early. You get on the throttle as quick as you can, hit the apex, and use all the curb on exit, but just don't hit the wall to maximize your traction into this straight. Come the end of it, this will be the only other overtaking opportunity in the race, other than main straight, of course. And brake hard into 3. Almost curb with the wall there. China, though, doesn't really take too much of it. Then brake early into 4. Turn in early, almost a blind apex there. And towards 5 and 6. Once again, we're not going to go as far to the left as you can. And quickly switch to the right. Don't take too much curb. You can really unsettle the car. And that is the first sector completed. Next up, brake hard for turn 7. Careful there not to hit the wall on the inside of China. It was cautious. And now in towards the castle. Turn in early and just keep going. Through the right, brake nice and early. And then go up the gears now as you exit turn 12 onto this flat out section. You can't exactly overtake here, but you can give it a try. And you can enjoy the flat out drive all the way down to turn 15, the infamous corner. If you know, you know. Down the hill we go then, in towards turn 16, the last braking zone of the track to 1 minute 21.0 in the middle sector. As we go past turn 16, it's a flat out run to the checkered flag. Here goes from China through the last flat out kink of the right, and here we go, powering down on Azadlik Square. Where's the Thai driver going to where's the Thai driver going to place himself once everybody finishes their laps? We're gonna know soon enough, but for now, China goes top with 1 minute 48.4, which has not been beaten just yet, but here goes Henry Watzel.
Yeah, so the time's coming in on the board, and Darabas Daniel is going to be the next to cross the line. He goes into P4. It's Alexander Arnold.
We have Agostino Pivona next to cross the line. I think this could be a very good lap here, which it is. Half second off. I'm beating everybody right now. And his graph goes P4, and here I have Pivona's teammate Juan Nguyen.
Yeah, he's just about to make his way across the line. Let's see if he can at least try to match his teammate. Unfortunately, slowest out of the bunch at the moment.
Yeah, before Cressy went even slower than him.
Yeah, Waldinger next across the line. Then it is Farina and defending champion Aaron Curtis as he goes P5. Shuto and then more across the line.
I believe Curtis has already been on pole here twice, if I'm not wrong, as Jonatas Martins goes P9. Gabriel Quintino up next, he goes 15th, as Jafari Blackwood slots himself into second with a nice healthy dose of slipstream, as Adam Chobot completes this run with 22nd last.
Yeah, and that should be all 22 times on the board then.
It looks like the Vona domination has already begun. By the way,
yeah, Formula E.
Miran, you should keep an eye on the chat, because I actually don't have my chat window open right now, and I'm not
neither
looking.
Do I.
So
let me just open it then.
Yeah, just be careful not to trigger an echo. But do give me an update on the chat. I want to hear what you guys are saying, because I can actually look for myself right now. But anyway, China has completed his first run. I was asking where would he end up after it, and he's ended up in P7. I think the former Indy 500 winner should be happy with that. As Daniel Darabos is heading into the pits right now in VAR's first proper outing. He's in 11th, and his teammate is in 22nd.
Yeah, I don't think there's massive expectations on VAR for their first ever outing in Formula 2, but we will see if they do get off the back foot and improve this. Obviously, still 23 minutes to go in the qualifying session, so anything can still, and it will change.
Yeah, indeed. The big question is how many changes are we going to see, not if we're going to see changes. As Sonome comes into the pits, Curtis, I know for a fact that he was on pole here in 2018. I don't
No.
remember if he was on pole in 2020, though.
Curtis has only been on pole here in 2020.
All right, because he started second on the grid. Oh, no. He finished on the. I know he finished on the podium in the 2018 race, but yeah, I know he did well here before. That's why I'm saying he's been on the podium last season as well.
Yeah, I think we could expect
Right. In 2018, his poles were in Bahrain and Hungary, not Bahrain and Azerbaijan. It was my mistake.
I think we could expect a good performance from Curtis.
Nevertheless, Aaron
today.
Curtis, he's the first. He's the first champion in the OC, of course, to win the title without taking a win ever since Julius Anderson in DTM in 2015. And he's also the first GP2, now F2 champion, to go on and try to defend his title, staying in the series after winning title as Agatino Bivona goes out. Aaron Curtis, sure, he won that title by being incredibly consistent, but unfortunately for him, he missed out on not just one, but two seats in the top class. He's now the Aston Martin test driver as a result, missing out on the Aston seat. But I think more than anything, he'll be wanting to get a win because Curtis has never won a race in any tier he has ever raced in. He has never won a race in Formula E, he has never won a race in DTM, he's never won a race in GP2. Can he win a race in F2? Well, he still got this season. He might move up to top class sooner or later, I don't know. But if he does, I'm sure he wants to go there as a race winner because he's already a champion.
I mean, Curtis is a driver who has a lot of... I mean, he has a lot of talent, but it just seems like he has a lot of bad luck and just poor timing generally. I mean, he is insanely consistent, but he's also never got a victory, as you did say. But it'll eventually come, I think.
Well, he could have got right here last year if Azerbaijan didn't jump in the pits.
Yeah.
Nevertheless, almost all the cars are out on track. We're waiting for Farina, Sonome, Henson, and Chobot. But until then, and speaking of that, Sonome has just gone out, so we're waiting for two more and want to stay in. Henson's gone out. Who will go out? Farina, so Chobot is staying into the pits. And I'm going to stay put as you take us for a lap of Agatino Bivona. Go ahead, Miran.
Yes, so a lap of the Baku City circuit with Agatina Bivona of Prema down to the run into the first corner. 90-degree angle, as you said. Cold tires is not something you want into that first corner, as there's as you don't want to go into the wall into the first corner. Second turn, also 90-degree angle. You can carry some battles through there quite easily, but make sure to not hit that outside wall. Then into turn number 3. Nice on the try to use that as much as the outside curve as you can without going into the wall, and then through turn 4. Then now here it gets a bit more technical as you head through the chicane of turn 5 and turn 6.
Rapid change of direction. There. You need to be your head spot on.
Very true, as he makes his way around turn 7 and now onto the castle section as the track rises up there in the middle sector, about 9 thousandths up on its own time. Very narrow part, probably the most narrow part of the track.
I think he's understeered a little bit there. He might lose some time in turn 12.
Yeah, either way, I think he's just about on par with his own lap time here, as he has to turn 13 flat through here, but into the braking zone of turn 15 as the track elevation goes down once again. Now onto sector 3, turn 16. Yeah, about 600s off there in sector 3, and it should be about flat out now as he makes his way around a few final corners and onto the very, very long main straight. There's going to be a lot of slipstream overtakes here in the race. I'm very sure of it. But it's going to be across the line right about now for Bivona, and he's about a tenth off his own time. So that is a
Here
lap
goes
of the
Gabriel
Baku
Rico
City
next
circuit
across
with
the line,
Alexander
and thank
Bivona.
you very much, Miran. Thank you very much. As Alexander Arnold improves to going to P6 there. He's found 2/10 on his lap. Here we have the man whose Formula E record of wins in a season was broken by Bivona. We have Tobias Express returning to the feeder series. He's back in F2, and he can't improve on that lap though. Daniel Darabosch will be finishing their lap right now. He can't improve either. 3/10 down. What about Dennis Graf, the Brazil merchant? He can't improve on that one either. Samet Ozkan is also down, as is Aaron Curtis. So China is down, but Wallinger has improved to go up to third place. Great showing in his first qualifying session for Carlin. And Swamin Nguyen, the man who has taken his premise seat, does improve to go 16th, as Blake Moore slots himself nicely into second. Some Protsiuk, who is down in 5th, stays in 5th without improving, while Gabriel Quintino goes to P7 as just Frank Suto now takes 2nd place, gets within a 10th of Bivona. Blackwood, the man who was in 2nd, is anymore. He's down in 4th and he stays there. Renatus Martins improves but stays in 14th. And Tosenome is next to cross the line.
And he does improve, but he's P19, as Rose Henson will be next across the line. And then it is Luca Farina.
No improvements from either of them, and that is it for this run. Do keep in mind that Chobot stayed in the pits, so he'll get an extra run. Everyone else has 2 runs left, Chobot has 3. But of course, on the next run there will be another guy staying in the pits, and on the final run there will also be another guy staying in the pits. So that's the situation. Argentino Bivona is still on top, but the field is trying to catch up to him.
Yeah, Bivona looks. He's sitting quite pretty up there in P1 at the moment. No one's really been able to match him. Closest man at the moment is Josef Erik Schuto, who is just about under a 10th off him, but the rest are about 2-3 tenths off, and it was quite like that for the majority of the session so far.
Give me some updates on the chat if you don't mind, by the way.
Oh yeah. Yeah, nothing much, just the usual. But hello to everyone in chat then. I guess that's all I can say.
Yeah, let us know how you guys are doing. I actually went to a water park today. It was pretty fun. How about you? How are you doing? As Daniel Darabosch is just being wheeled into his garage by the VAR crew.
Oof, I died to go to a water park right now. It's been absolutely blistering hot here in Sweden, and
yeah, I hear as well.
Yeah, I think it would be nice. I have like a beach just about 10 minutes away from me, so maybe I should head there sometime.
I think we have the best VAR in here. It's much better than the VAR in the Premier League, that's for sure.
Yeah.
A little bit of an inside joke there with the Venomous Ford Racing name there and all. The abbreviation, of course. Either way, it's looking good for Prema. Prema have been rather strong here, if you know. Back when they had both Curtis and Wallinger in 2018, if I'm not mistaken, they finished both of them on the podium. And yeah, they have been quite strong. Wallinger, I think he had a good finish here last season too, didn't he? Or was on for a good finish, as Chobot has been the first to go out. And now Prema is on provisional pole, though the other is a little bit down. I'm sure I'm going to be working on fixing that. His season, the start of the season was very good. He took 2 race wins, but afterwards it got a little tricky because he just stumbled in qualifying massively at the midway point of the season, and by the end he still hadn't really gotten over his hijinks. And yeah, he just struggled in qualifying massively. Right now he's in P18, but we still got half the session to go for him to rectify that. As for Adam Chobot, he was incredibly consistent in the first half of the season. Never actually picked up a win. He kept getting some points finishes, podium finishes, top 5 finishes. It's kept him in the title fight up until the last qualifying session of the season. He dropped out the title fight after qualifying, of course, but he still had a good one. I finished 5th if I'm not mistaken. He got passed by Pernian in the end. But yeah, Adam Chobot, He had a very solid first season for High Tech on their debut. Now he's moved to VAR and will be looking to spearhead their debut. Though having said that, if he wants to be the spearhead for the team's debut, he's going to need to get in front of his teammate Daniel Darabosh because he's outpacing him right now by just over 5/10 of a second.
Yeah, obviously Hobart has some experience with leading new teams, as you did say, but currently in P22, we'll see if he
Well, this
can
is his sophomore
get an
season,
improvement there.
so only his second year in F2. Of course, he doesn't have the greatest amount of experience, but he's learning the ropes. So let's see him on the lap of Baku. Some really good shots of the VAR car. Joe did mention he really likes the look of it, and I have to agree with him. He mentioned that during our preseason commentary. And yeah, here we go. Trouble into turn 2. Looked a little tentative on the brakes there, but I don't think it's gonna harm him much or anything like that. Literally doing some small changes of direction over on the straight, trying to catch the best wind perhaps. Into turn 3 once again. Didn't seem that confident on the brakes, but I wonder just how much that affected his sector time. Into 4, that was a very nice and tidy line, so I think he is feeling some grip in those corners. And towards 5 and 6, okay, that was a brilliant run. I think he took a lot of inside curb on 5, but he didn't lose control of the car. Let's see his first sector split. He is up quite substantially too. 27 hundredths of a second there, over just under 3/10. As let's see into where's the castle section. His line is pretty good. His exit from turn 12 will be key here, and I think he's got the traction just fine. Caught just a little bit of oversteer maybe, but it wasn't too much trouble for him to ask. So let's see as we go down the hill what Hobart will be able to do. And I'd rather call him Chobot. I know it's a more inaccurate pronunciation, but I'm still trying to get used to it. So here it goes, the middle sector split. He's up by 4/10 of a second, and if that stays as is, I do think he could get himself in the top 16 or top 17. Let's see where he's gonna end up though in sector 3. He's not gonna get any slipstream from anybody. The next car is a little bit too far out in front, but he's about to finish the lap there, Marin.
Yeah, it looked like quite a tidy lap. I think he should get himself into the top 15 even with this lap, as he will cross the line now. And where will he go? He goes 18th. So
Bivona, meanwhile, is being impeded. He's just overtaken a car there, as a matter of fact. Here we're looking at Alexander Arnold. He is in P10 right now, but not on an improvement. I think Bivona ruined that Cruz's lap. So, yeah. Nevertheless, here goes Arnold. He's just about to finish his first Formula, his third Formula 2 qualifying. But it looks like we have an improvement on the cars from China. It is up on his personal best. He is currently in P12, but let's see just how much he can improve on it. As he's about to cross the line.
And that's P9. It's a nice
improvement there. Gabriel Rico next up, 16th place. He stays there. Samirovskin, I don't see him improving, though I've been wrong before. So let's see as he crosses the line. And I wasn't wrong this time. Ben Wallinger stays in P5. Here goes Huamin Nguyen. He needs an improvement right here and right now. He gets it, but not an improvement on a position, I'm afraid. There's Aaron Curtis, former pole sitter here. Improves to go up in 7th place. Ruslan Protyuk goes back into 4th place as Gabriel Quintino crosses the line next without an improvement.
Yeah, Kress crosses the line. He does improve. Next across the line is Henry Watsall and then Dennis Graf.
Kress stayed 21st, though, as Blake Moore stays where he is. Hansen, meanwhile, stayed in the pits, though. I'll keep an eye on her as Jafari Blackwood, goes back into 3rd place. Hento Tsunami goes into P9. As just Frank Suto's lap was completely ruined by the man who will be sharing the front row with tomorrow if it stays as is.
Yeah, Farina next across the line. He sets an improvement, but I believe it did not go up any positions.
As seen by the cameras also, Jonatas Martins has improved. He's up at 10th place. And I promise I'll do my best not to try to confuse Martins with Martinez next time around. Because some of these abbreviations are a little bit nostalgic. I see MAR and I see Mar, and I always think of Martinez. I see Cha, I always think of Chris Chatfield. But I do need to keep in mind they're different people, so there's that.
Yeah, I almost said Martinez as well to Martins. That's kind of weird.
You're allowed one mistake.
Yeah. It's I'm just looking at what
Meanwhile, I was
Flo put
just
in the
looking at
chat.
a message in my Discord. I only got it 6 minutes late, but there's a message from Joe. He spotted it. Bivona's pole time right now is just about 3 seconds quicker than Curtis's pole lap from last season, the old GP2 car. So these OCF2 cars are like 2 or 3 seconds quicker than last generation. So this is quite a welcome sight. Just under 3 seconds quicker than previous pole time. That's sure a welcome thing to see. So yeah.
Yeah, as
What do you think of that, Mirren, the faster cars?
it is interesting. I mean, some of the guys who are obviously more experienced in the F2 field, and I'm thinking people like Henry Watsall, especially, who've really gotten accustomed to the GP2 car that's been used basically ever since 2011. Basically, everyone is gonna have to get accustomed to the new car, and I feel like it's really gonna change the playing order of F2, and I think it's gonna allow for it's gonna make for a new pecking order, and I think that's gonna be quite interesting.
Yeah, indeed. Don't forget, though, very important. This is this season we're also getting a change to the performance boosts. As you may know, after each qualifying and race, the drivers get some points added to their stats for future qualifying sessions and races, and those stay permanent until the end of the season. At the start of a new season, it's a clean slate, of course, everyone's equal. As the season progresses, drivers who perform well will get quicker to their base stats. It's not a major increase, so let's say you've always qualified at the back every race, if you finish at the back every race, you can still win the season finale and be on pole there. But yeah, it's not major. However, one thing that you should note is that this season the stat increase has grown. So doing well in qualifying and races will just boost you even further. This is meant, of course, to create a more engaging championship battle with a few clear contenders, and it's worked out last season. I just hope it doesn't lead to anybody dominating. Nevertheless, Agostino Bivona, speaking of dominating, is about to begin his final lap.
Yeah, as it is interesting how Bivona already hit the ground running as he's come to F2 from winning the Formula E title by a record amount of victories.
Well, yeah, that is true, as he looks like is going to get impeded there.
Yeah, that's not going to be the best for the Italian, but I mean, he already has a very strong lap time, so he'll just have to hope that nobody else has a lap time faster than him at the moment. But yeah, he's really going to have to hope that that car gets out of the way as soon as possible. But he's already on a lap here, so I think the damage has maybe already been done.
Yeah, certainly. You want to get traffic in Sector 3 on that long back straight. You can get all that slipstream, but right here, the middle sector where it's so tight and twisty, you don't want to get traffic. And he's 7 tenths down just after the first sector, so he's just gonna have to hope and pray that nobody gets to beat him and that he can hold on to pole. Meanwhile, to note, Jonatas Martins stayed in the pits. So yeah, he's still in the pits. If he'll have enough time to get his last run in or not, that'll remain to be seen, because I think him, Henson, and Chobot will be cutting it close, the free drivers who opted to skip a run earlier. I'm not sure if they'll get the fourth runs or not, but nevertheless, if they do, that could be good for them. Though I'm really suspecting Chobot and Henson might not have time at all. We only got 4 minutes to spare, and they need to finish this lap, go back into the pits, and go out once again. So I think that could be the last run for them, the third and last. But if Martins goes out in time, he might get a shot. He goes in the next 3 minutes. Anyway, Agostino Bivona is about to ruin another car's lap, which is starting his own lap. but Bivona crosses the line and obviously does not improve.
Yeah, and he's now decided to impede the
Julia
car ahead of
Rose
him that was
Hansen
impeding
looks
him.
like
So
she's improving. In last place at the moment in her first qualifying session in Formula 2. But this improvement could put her somewhere, so let's see where the American driver is going to end up on the grid. Across the line goes Rose Hansen, and what is the Trojan driver going to do? She goes up into P19, solid improvement there, gets in front of Chobot. As Alex Arnold goes into P8, solid improvement on his last flyer. Gabriel Rico does not really do much of anything there, he can't improve, and Eric Benz Valniger. Aaron Curtis, reigning champion, and also reigning Baku poles there, has one last shot to defend his pole and make it 2 in a row. But looking at his sector times, it doesn't look like he'll be improving. Can he prove me wrong, though?
yes, he's just going to make his way across the line. And Aaron Curtis,
No
and it's no
improvement.
improvement.
Samet Oskan has
Özkan,
just improved but stays 15th. Gabriel Quintino's gone up into P6 as Huamin Nguyen goes 10th, gets into the top 10. Adam Chobot improves 18th. That'll be his third and last run. Protyuk didn't improve. What about Chow China? Can he get out of P14 and do something better than that? No, I'm afraid not. And Tosunome is currently in P12, which is where he stays after not improving. Henry Watzel is also not improving, only just though. Blake Moore, P4, won't do any better than that. Bivona is obviously impeding Tobias Kress. He really likes taking things away from him, doesn't he? Records and now the lap, but nevertheless, Kress won't improve thanks to the hold up. But you know who will improve? Not Trifari Blackwood, I'm afraid. He got some dough, but couldn't quite use it to improve. Then his Graf can't improve either. He goes just for Exuto. Can he challenge for pole? No, I'm afraid not. Misses out. Luca Farina is on a lap. I'm not sure how many people have actually got left to finish their laps. But nevertheless, Martins has not gone out in time. He only got 3 runs. So once these guys are done, that'll be over. Farina doesn't improve. Daniel Darabosh is next to cross the line. And let's see, can he get an improvement? Well, no, he can't. Gabriel Rico is also not an improvement. And I think that's it. I think Bivona Domination is well and truly alive. Looks like the 4 bonus points for Paul are going to go Latino Bivona's way. Unless there's somebody else on the flying lap, which I believe there's not.
no, I don't think there is actually. But yeah, Bivona with a very, very strong lap time didn't even set an improvement, and he still grabbed pole. So that's absolutely fantastic from the Italian.
Yep, indeed. And once again, showing that the change of category did not seem to harm him that much.
Yeah, he's as I did say previously, he's really just hit the ground running now in Formula 2, and I mean, I think it's a very good start for him.
Yeah, definitely. I think any driver would be happy with that. As Joseph Suto is up, that could be a pole lap if he didn't have to come into the pits.
Yeah, I
Once again,
just saw
those improvements after on the in lap, they're signed for tomorrow. That wear isn't really that bad, and going for the overcut, waiting for pace to get better as the car weighs down thanks to lack of fuel, thanks to less fuel. I mean, the overcut is a real possibility, and I think might be the stronger option tomorrow. Either way, the checkered flag is out, has been for a couple seconds. We're just waiting for Darabosh to head into the pits, which he should do anytime now. Yes, there we go. And once his car gets serviced, that will be the end of the session.
very interesting to see what the rookies, the high position rookies, can do tomorrow. Obviously, people like Blackwood and Moore, they're in P3 and P4. That's going to be quite interesting.
Well, don't forget we got a rookie on pole position, as a matter of fact. But another thing, which we touched on yesterday, Soto having a bad season last time out, apart from his win in Portugal, looks like he wants to rectify that. He's on the front row for tomorrow. And they had a little run-in, when Bivona impeded him. Nevertheless, it's Zagatino Bivona on his first F2 qualifying session, on the first F2 qualifying session for everybody, actually, taking pole position just for Exuto, hoping to make amends after his tricky end last season. taking the front row spot, his first front row since Bruno. He's in second. Jafari Blackwood, very solid effort on his debut in third. With Blake Moore, another solid effort for rookie P4. One of the veterans of this series, I guess you could say. Ruslan Protic is in P5 at the grid, with Gabriel Quintino P6. Definitely showing some improvement after the disaster that was 2019. Mens Wallinger, I don't think he regrets switching to Carlin. He's P7 on the grid. He'll be happy with that. And Darren Curtis, the reigning champion and previous Baku poster, will be P8 on the grid this time, as he chases not only to defend his title, but also to get his first race win. Alexander Arnold is in P9 in his first qualifying session with Harman Nguyen, finally qualifying the top 10 once again. Henry Watzel is in P11, and you are going to get to do the second half.
Yeah, so Hento Sinonome takes P12, just ahead of Jonatas Martins in P13. As function of Charles Scheinat in 14th place, and then Dennis Graf in 15th. Samet Özkan in P16, followed by Luca Farina in 17th place. Adam Chobot in 18th, followed by Daniel Darabosh in P19. Then it's Gabriel Rico in P20, and the final two spots will be taken by the former Formula E teammates, Rose Henson and Tobias Kress.
Yes, indeed. And just to note, Kress is the only one not within the 1 second barrier, but even so, the worst placed driver in this season's cars is still 1.8 seconds quicker than last year's pole time. So that's obviously good that these cars are faster. But that has been the end of this first ever F2 qualifying session here in Baku. And it was very entertaining, I think. Agatino Bivona, hoping to continue his dominant form he showed in Formula E. But this is a whole different can of worms. If he can succeed tomorrow, we'll have to wait and see. But until then, that's been it for myself and Miran. Miran is third choice for commentary tomorrow. I do have two people I have in mind for tomorrow. Both of them are mystery commentators. Obviously, I will only go with one of them. But if neither of them can make it, you're going to hear from myself and Miran. But yeah, thank you very much, guys, for today. Tune in tomorrow, same time as today, because we're gonna get a race on our hands.
Yeah, it's hopefully we're gonna have a very nice first ever Formula 2 race.
Yep. Well then, that's been it. Bye bye.